Nine Ball asks, same Metatron, do you have a video that explains the use of desho in similar words? No, but desho is not difficult in Japanese. You can use it in two ways. If and the one way is it depends on the intonation. If you put like a rising tone at the end, rising terminal, then you can use it as a way to a bit like tag questions in English, like a bit like a isn't it? So like you are asking for a confirmation, but you kind of expect the speaker to agree with you. And then if you if you say it with a downward tone, then it's basically a more polite way to say this because it kind of expresses, this is already polite. But with desho, with a lower tone rather than desho with a rising tone, it kind of expresses a little bit of uncertainty, which the Japanese use as a form of politeness. That's why on a different matter, in Japanese, you will hear a lot the Japanese avoiding definitive statements, whereas as Western people, we do that a lot. So like the Japanese will say something like, これは水だと思います. So I think this is water, and I'm making kind of the first thing that I'm thinking. But the Japanese will tell you と思います, which means と思う, which means I think, for something that it's categorical. And they do it out of politeness. It's not because they're not sure. So they will tell you, oh, that game, I think it's an RTS. They know it's an RTS, but they say I think because it's less direct. Whereas we, as Western people, tend to be like, no, yeah, it's an RTS. Like if you only say I think if you're not sure. But the Japanese say I think when they are being polite. And that's important to understand when you enter the Japanese speaking sphere, that you shouldn't take the Japanese literally when they make that choice. Thank you, Micah Price, for the donation. The wife and I are learning Latin for fun. That sounds fantastic, mate. You have my respect for that. Do you have any advice on any recommended sources, practice material for reading Latin? Yes, the channel Polymathy from Luc Ranieri, and then the channel Scorpio Martianus from Luc Ranieri, once again. Those are two channels that are fantastic for learning Latin. They are excellent. In fact, I'm going to show you. So the channel Scorpio Martianus is this one here. Scorpio Martianus. He's got 500 videos. And I think the entire channel is in Latin. He constantly speaks Latin, sometimes Greek. But then if that's a bit much, because all he does is speaking Latin, see, lingua latina, then you can check out his other channel, Polymathy, which is this one here, where he speaks English, but talks about Latin and Greek. So I strongly suggest to check out these channels, because he's great. I mean, Luc Ranieri is the guy I go to when I don't know something in Greek or Latin. I go to him, just so you know. So that's what I would suggest. Thank you, Mart Rags, for the donation. Have you ever been to Japan? Oh, yeah, I lived in Japan for 4 years. I used to work in Japan. I went there after my university graduation. After I got my degree, I went to Japan, spent 3 months. No, sorry, the first time I went to Japan was when I was a second-year student and spent 3 months to write my dissertation, my thesis. Then I graduated, and then I went to Japan for 4 years, 3.5. And so altogether 4 years. Yeah. So that's why I speak Japanese fluently. I have a degree in Japanese, but I also spent years in Japan, and that really what did it for me. Because Japanese is a tough language, let me tell you that much. Now I've become a little rusty at writing kanji, but I can still read them, depending on the complexity, of course, and how common the kanji are. Luke's Patreon is active and it's $1. Yeah, you should go. You should all go. And then if you're learning Japanese, you should check out Dogen. Although then again, that's mostly for pitch. So if you're not interested in pitch accent or it's a bit too much for now, then maybe not. Thank you for the explanation. It was helpful. You're very welcome, Nine Ball. I'll be reading a little Twitch in a little bit as well. Just Harsh Godly says, Korewa is this. Yeah, Korewa is like this. I wouldn't translate wa as is, because is da or des at the end of the sentence. That's the verb. So wa is just the subject marker. You don't need to translate it in English. So korewa it just means this, close to me. So korewa. But if it was far from me and you, I would say arewa. And if it's far from me but close to you, then I would say sorewa. So it depends on where it is spatially. So これは、それは、あれは. That's how. So to mean this, that, and that over there could be a translation. John writes in Mandarin, 你会中文吗? I think you're missing a verb. I would say 你会讲中文吗? Or 你会. Yeah, you need like a verb. Can you speak? 你会说中文 or 汉语 or whatever. At the end. But you're asking if I know the language like Mandarin. 我会讲一些普通话. I speak it a little bit. Like I'm conversational, but kind of, I would consider myself lower intermediate in Mandarin, whereas my Japanese is fluent. But my Mandarin is like I'm working on it. It's work in progress. Work in progress. Were you big in Japan? Like, what do you mean? I wasn't even a content creator, if that's what you're asking. I was just working as a translator. Saturdays and Sundays I was working at a restaurant as an Italian waiter in an Italian restaurant in Japan. The Japanese loved it. They loved it. Aldrius, I'm learning Latin on and off a day-to-day speaking basis. Sounds good. Yeah, you should study any language you're studying. It should be daily, by the way. That's the trick. That's how I sort of tried to approach any language I've ever studied, whether it be English, whether it be Chinese, whether it be Japanese, whatever. Always daily. Has to be daily. If you want actual results, like you're not learning it because you want to know a few things, but if someone speaks to you, you haven't got a clue, then take your time. But if you actually want to be able to speak a language and understand it, it's got to be daily. Like there is no way around it. It has to be daily. Third writes in Ferguson writes in Japanese, and you write, 私は大きいものを持っています. I have a big thing. That's what it translates. What you're trying to say. I don't know what you're trying to say, but yeah, that's what you're saying. Oh, I see what you guys are writing. I'm not going to read what you wrote, Pedro, but I can read the kanji. I know what you wrote. Anyways, I'm not 13, so I'm not going to read that kind of stuff and laugh. Bong Donkey writes in Sicilian, Mi piace mangiare siciliano. Me too, I love Mediterranean cuisine, mate. Love it. Just want to show you very briefly. So this is my gaming channel. This is my gaming channel, Metatron's Protectorate. And yeah, like I put here some D&D just for people who come here for the first time. I do collaboration with my wife. Quite a few. In fact, we're gonna do a collaboration soon on my Amiga 500. I'm gonna have her play another world and see what she can do. But yeah, one of the videos that I made recently was yeah, what was I talking about? Sorry, I just got confused. But I got Centurion, old school games, and oh yeah, Daggerfall. So I made a video on Daggerfall, and I played it for like 4 hours, 5 hours. It's a very long video, and I absolutely loved it. Yeah, you see, I even titled it, Daggerfall is my favorite Elder Scrolls. Now, is it really? When I played it, I thought so. It's 2 hours. I'm like, oh, this is the best. But then when I went back to Oblivion after it, I'm like, oh, I don't know though. Oblivion is Oblivion. But yeah, there is a lot of nostalgia on this channel. I love it. I love posting on it. Megalomania, Diablo 2, and then again, collaboration with the wife. It's a good game. It's a good channel. A lot of horror, because I like horror. And yeah, it's a good channel. I think it's a good channel, so I'm going to put it here and link it. I'm going to link it everywhere. And if you want, I would appreciate.